Caleb Kelly.
Kelly.
What's going on, my boy?
With you, boss?
How you been?
I'm living good.
On the scene.
It look like you living good,
I'm
bro.
feeling great, to be honest with you.
That's what's up, man. First, man, just give us a preview of what you've been up to, man. What you got in the works? What's happening?
Man, really everything, but mostly like just trying to establish a foundation for music in North Carolina, and that's, it's a task in itself, you know what I'm saying? But overall, I feel like, just giving a spotlight to a lot of the people that are creative and don't have that opportunity to be heard. So I like to kind of be like a megaphone to that voice, you know what I'm saying? So
Gotcha.
I'll be a certain type of person just so these people can be seen by those people. So
Gotcha.
just taking something, taking nothing, making something out of it, basically. That's it.
That's what's up.
Besides that, grinding, working, man, building, that's it.
You just dropped your project, Candid.
Candid, yes, sir.
How are people receiving that?
They actually received it better than I thought. Really, with Candid, when I dropped that project, it was a personal project. You feel what I'm saying? So it was more or less like I wanted to do it because I wanted to do it. I didn't really care about what nobody else wanted, or I didn't use like no auto tune or anything out of that. And it was a little bit of a challenge because that's what everything is on. When I record a lot of people, it's auto tune, this and that. So I actually had to go back into rap and go back into like just specifically bars, and I don't know. I felt like a lot of people are doing this whole other wave, and a lot of people look at it and say, well, this is what I got to do. But I looked at it and saw, well, that means that it's a void. You know what I mean? It's something that's being missing right now. So I just saw it and I did it. And probably within the first month, we got like 15,000 streams, and that's when I saw the power of marketing and stuff, because that's something I've never really like endeavored in before. And so just looking at, all right, now you got to put money into your music after you put money into your music, because a lot of people say, oh, you record yourself, you make your own beats, so you really saving bread. But no, I spent between $500 and $1,000 on just marketing, and that's after, you feel what I'm saying? That's post-production. And so just seeing that and being able to bring that information back to artists that are doing the same thing that I'm doing, I feel like that's invaluable information, like it's priceless. So really it was more or less like I kept telling artists like, who gonna get a plaque on my wall, because I'm a producer. And then I said, I'm gonna get a plaque on my wall, you feel me? So that's what Candid is.
I wanted to ask you about that, because you were originally first a producer, right?
Well, to be honest with you, I started out rapping. I had a guy that was making beats for me. I didn't really like rock with his beats. It wasn't that they were bad. They just had too much in them because I'm a punchline artist.
Who'd you have with you?
It was my guy Twan D in Farmville. This is way back like middle school days.
Okay.
And then I learned how to make beats from him. Then I started recording my brother, and then somebody, they liked the quality, they said, Dad, bro, how much you charge? And before you know it, 12 years later, I was still recording and producing. But I always had a musical talent to go a whole different way with it, which I never really spoke on or showed other people. I never like force-fed people, hey, bro, I can rap too. You know what I'm saying? That was never my whole thing. So when I came out to actually doing producing, rapping, my homeboy Cam, he was like, bro, you harder than a lot of these people that you're engineering. And I never look at it as competition, to be honest with you, because my whole thing is like holistically, I want North Carolina to come up musically. So I see it's not going to be just one person. It's going to be all of us working together. You feel what I'm saying? So I was like, cool. Well, if I can bring the spotlight my way, then that means like whoever I feature with, whoever I collab with, whoever I'm in collaboration with, just point blank period, they're going to get a piece of that spotlight as well. So I felt like my voice was heard more when I rap because of some of the content that I speak on rather than a beat. Because I can make a beat and hear a whole different concept than what somebody else hears. They might go off of what a wave is. I'm going to go off of what the beat is telling me. You feel what I'm saying? So I felt like people don't really interpret what the beats are saying now. So I feel like now it was my duty to go ahead and do what I had to do and just, really show what I was capable of. And in the process, it's just been amazing. Like, more or less, other people see it as a transformation, but me, I just feel like it's a revelation. It's me really revealing who I always been the whole time.
Yeah, from the outside looking in, it's like, okay, he was an engineer, producer, now he's rapping.
Right.
People want to know, okay, so what's the deal with that? You pursuing music now full time?
My thing is this. I feel like we are, as humans, like, we think so simplistic sometimes. Like, you see a person, you say that's a black man. You see another person, you say that's a white man.
Yeah.
We're so tied to the fact of labels. So I can't just be a producer. I can't just be an engineer. I can't be an artist like, oh, I gotta pick one. But more or less like, no, like I'm a creative. You feel what I'm saying? So if I feel like making beats today, I'm gonna make beats today.
Yeah.
If I feel like just engineering for the week, I'm gonna engineer for the week. If I feel like putting on a melody on a song, I'm gonna do that. If I feel like just doing all punchlines, I'm gonna do that. So really like to answer that question truthfully and hopefully. Like, I'm just a creative. And not to try to get too scientific about it, but really that's just what I am.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't like to say, oh, I rap, I sing, I do this. Like, bro, like, I make songs. Like, that's it, point blank, period. Like, I want to collaborate with people. Whenever I work with people and building a song, that's what I do. Like, I sit there and I say, look, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. Regardless of if it's my song or their song, realistically, it's our song because we're working on that production and putting it together.
And also, you want to put your bread up with that person.
Yes,
so,
bro, I'm telling you. Like,
go half and half.
First of all, my timing is an investment. When you become a business owner, you start realizing, really, like, when they say time is money, like, when you work a 9 to 5, you just look at the parameters. I go in 9 to 5. With me working for myself, I honestly lose track of days sometimes. I don't know what the day is. I don't know what yesterday is because you really don't have a day in and a day out. You don't have a time stamp in and a time stamp out. So when you give somebody your time, that's precious. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of people don't respect that because they don't understand that. And that's not up to me to decipher whether or not, oh, cool, I'm going to work with this person because they respect my time. It's like, you just look on the outside. If they respect their time, they're probably going to respect your time. Mm-hmm. So that's how you kind of choose who you work with and who you don't work with. But with me, man, but really, like, just working for myself and just grinding, like, it just showed me an appreciation for, like, all the things that, to be honest with you, were never taught to me. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. When we're going through the school system and everything, it's go to school, go to college, and then you get a career. But my thing is, it's like the way the world is set up now, like, the information is so abundant that we don't really have to go to the resources that we were taught to go to, because now some of those resources are using the resources that we can attain ourselves. It's about self-knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of us, we either, I realize some of us are honest. I wouldn't even say lazy, but I do realize that lazy, it's some people. I'm gonna tell you this, it's some people that don't know what they don't know. Okay. Like, I'll tell somebody to go look for something, right? So you can be so confused at the amount of information out there, you don't even know where to begin. Gotcha. But with me, it's like, I'm gonna fail until I don't. You feel what I'm saying? So that's how I got to the point of where I am now. Okay. So really, it's all about a learning process. You gotta be willing to take those L's to see a W. But when you see a W, them L's don't even matter. You don't even remember the first L you took after you get a W.
That's
you
a
know
fact.
what I'm saying? But that's just
tell me about Media Majors, bro. The startup.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So basically, Media Majors came about where it was it's about to be 2 years old now. Media Majors came about. I left another studio I was working at downtown. I was the head engineer there. I had worked at another one previously. But Media Majors, I had started Media Majors with my guy Brandon Bucks. He's an artist. He's in Atlanta now. But it was just solely, like, really just to start the production and get quality sound out there. There was honestly no quality sound in Greenville. And the main reason was because nobody focused on the art and the craft of engineering. Nobody watched, like, hours and hours and hours of tutorials and understand frequency ranges and why something needs to be mono in comparison to stereo. Those little things that everybody thinks is one big thing that makes something sound beautiful, but in reality, it's 1,000 small things that add up to be a big picture, kind of like 1080p. It's 1,080 pixels that make that HD so full. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If it goes missing, it won't be as full. So when it comes to music, it's the same thing, production and stuff like that. I just looked at educating myself enough to get into quality to where we can compete with the people up here instead of us, oh, my engineer sounds better than your engineer. Yeah. But in reality, we crabs in a bucket because we competing with each other for what? That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? We really, sonically, we don't go above the next person because that's always our competition. If I'm satisfied with just being better than this guy, then I'll never compete with that guy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's really like with Media Majors, I just wanted to have something that was artists can come to. I got connections with the radio stations, videographers, models, everything. So when an artist comes here, even if I can't fulfill a need, I can send them in a direction. Gotcha. Because I'm a selfless person. Like, hey, I don't do it, bro, but my man right here do it. Like, even graphic design. I stopped doing graphic design this year, but I reached out to my guy, Derek G. I was like, look, bro, I'm not doing it this year. I want to send some people your way. You good with that? He was like, cool, boom. Anybody that come to me, it's no hate whatsoever. It's never been. That's not how I operate, because I understand the big picture. Go to him. Because now I got an artist come to me, record, they get some dope graphic work. If I produce that beat, and then also they got a dope single cover, now when they put it out, now it has a chance for more listens. But if I'm like, if I ain't making it, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know where you can go to get it. Then they go and they look up Photoshop themselves and they try this their first time. Like they like, bro, I did this myself. I'm like, yeah, it look like you did it yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. Like we got to learn how to work together. And honestly, when we work together, like it has to be like one non-bias and like for real, like true no hate. Like a lot of people were like, bro, I ain't hating on that man. But really, like you know what I'm saying? Really, like really, are you not hating on that person? So that's just the selfless type of person I am, and I've been burned. That's gonna come with it.
People don't want you to do better than them, man. You know how it goes. You mentioned Brandon Bucks,
right?
Is he still invested with you now?
No, Bucks is not a part of Media Majors. With him, and that's another thing. It's a no hate type thing. It was more or less like when we really came aboard. What Bucks was over promotions, marketing, and stuff like that. However, Bucks was also an artist, and so when we had a conversation, we both understood that honestly he wanted to focus more on being an artist. Like running a business wasn't the primary goal of his at the moment. You feel what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, cool. Like how are we gonna do this? And then we just wrapped up. We handle business or whatever the case may be, and then we still keep in touch, chop it up every now and then. But I mean, that's just basically how that went.
So it's all love.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you start Media Majors? Not like where you came from, but how did you get the funds?
This is the thing. So what I did was, I actually engineered in my house for about 4 or 5 years. I only engineer like very, very specific people because of course that's where I sleep at. I don't play with that. That's where I'm big on vibes and energy and stuff like that. So if it's off, then you're not coming in. But mainly, I saved up and I perfected my craft. A lot of people, they'll get a camera, they'll get a computer, they'll get a mic, they'll get everything that they need, and then they'll think, okay, boom, I'm a videographer, or, I'm an engineer now. But I didn't do a disservice and say, all right, cool, I record now. I didn't have the proper tools. I didn't have the proper knowledge to even say that I'm an engineer at that time. So I worked on my craft and to the point where I worked on honestly mediocre stuff, like the very bare minimum, just so I can, if I got good at that, I know once I got better equipment, I will understand why everything works and how everything works so I can develop my sound. Really, that's all I'm saying. I was developing my sound. So when it came down to it, basically I developed my sound, and then to understand the business, I worked at another studio. I didn't just jump out there and say, all right, cool, I'm about to start my own studio. I said, cool, I worked at a studio. Yeah. The first studio I worked at, he really didn't have things in order. He just had the money. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, cool. I saw the downfall of that. Then the next studio, it was like I was the primary. I really put things in order. I created the structure, you know what I'm saying? They gave me a little bit of leeway into actually structuring how everything goes, booking, deposits, understand the importance of time management. If you book at 7 o'clock and you don't show up at 7, you still owe me a certain amount of money because now I can't book that to somebody else. True. So I actually learned that without having to come out of my pocket every single month. You feel what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
If I had jumped out there and I didn't have that understanding, I could have been honestly, I could have been in the red and never even touched black because I didn't understand the business of music. You feel what I'm saying? So that's really how I kind of understood the business. And then probably not too long after that, the company that I worked for, Suddenly Communications, that got bought out by I forgot the name of the company, but they got bought out, and we had an option to either get severance pay or I can move to another position. So I got severance pay. And honestly, I thank God because I was actually looking at quitting the job to go ahead and do what I needed to do. Mm-hmm. But that was the smoothest transition I could have ever asked God for because now I get severance pay for 11 weeks while I'm starting my business. Mm-hmm. So even if my first few months aren't good, I'm still good because I'm getting severance pay from my last job. You know what I'm saying? So really, it was like as I was working a job, I was also engineering at night. So every single dollar that I touched, I never took it and put it back home. And a lot of people don't understand when you start a business, you got to pay for home and you got to pay for business. You have to keep them completely separate. You don't dig in home for business and you don't dig in for business for home. After that initial thing, because it starts with home first and then you put that money aside. But after I actually gained the funds to actually put aside to start a business, cool, let's go look for a building. So I probably looked for about 3 months till I found the right building. And then the name really just came about, I'm just looking at different things. I knew I just didn't want it to be something recording studio because I knew what I would have to offer would be way more than just sound engineering. And so, I majored in music, you know what I'm saying? So it was just Media Majors. And I wanted a name that would resonate beyond mine. I want people to know media majors before they ever hear of Kelly Bangers, because that's the only way that you keep a franchise alive. You don't know what the name of the manager is at your local McDonald's. Exactly. I don't want them to know who my name is. You know what I'm saying? I want them to understand what my branding is. So I'll have other business ventures beyond this, and this will still have basically its own lifeblood.
Okay.
So that's how media majors came apart, and that's how came together, and that's how it survived.
That's what's up, man. Why did you guys stop it or drop it?
Well, actually, we didn't stop it to drop it. We just took a momentary pause just to really refocus. I feel like one of the hardest things to do when you have something that's successful is say, okay, we need to refocus this, and we want more out of something. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting good, you're like, okay, I wanted to continue to be good, or either you wanted to be great. And I wasn't good with it being good. I wanted to be great. So now we're doing some rebranding. Basically, even this right here, I have a whole infrastructure. I mean, you see like the 3D panels, all that stuff like that. Okay. It's going to be a whole set. You feel what I'm saying? It's going to be completely different, and it's going to go beyond Stop It or Drop It. It's going to be a little bit more than what it was. Just because I didn't really honestly realize how big it was until I knew people that knew Stop It or Drop It that had no idea who I was or media majors. You know what I'm saying? Radio stations and all. And so that's when I was like, yo, you really got something. Sometimes when you're so close to something, you don't really see how big it is. You got to take a step back. And that's what I saw with that. So trust me, it's definitely not stopped. It's more or less about, we were going live on Tuesdays, and I felt like it was taken for more of like, oh, this is guaranteed to happen every Tuesday. It was taken for granted. And first of all, I respect my team enough. We got people coming here volunteer. I respect my team enough. Like, yo, we got to do more than this. We got to eat off of this. We got to see a way that we can get these artists bigger and better, because we had a lot of new people coming, but we weren't retaining people. And my whole thing was I wanted to gather the area. So we had the first wave of people that would come will be people from the area. Then we start getting people from state here, and there. But honestly, I allowed that to come, but initially I said nobody outside of North Carolina, because I really wanted to be that focused. Then once we got that crowd honed in, that demographic, then I was going to open it up to further states so they could see what North Carolina had to bring.
Gotcha.
But the thing about it is, working with North Carolina, sometimes people aren't like-minded as you are. So therefore that whole title gets missed, you know what I'm saying? So Stop It or Drop It is definitely coming back. I don't have a specific date on it, because if I put a date down, I stick to a date. So I'm not gonna do that to me or the team. So we just know we working. We got something that's coming, and it's gonna be better than it ever was before.
You're married, right?
Absolutely.
How long?
5 years.
5 years?
6 this year, yep.
Okay. How do you cope with being married in the industry? Cause I look at it like once you make your first song, I don't know if you've seen my interview, but once make your first song, you're in the industry.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on how far you go at that point.
This is the thing. It's all about how connected you allow your musical being to be with your spouse. If the only part of me my spouse got was just the Caleb, the daddy, the husband, then she wouldn't be able to travel along with this journey with me. So now, like, I'll take songs to her, because she sings as well. So I'll take songs to her like, what you think about this, babe? What you think about this? I actually make her feel connected to it, rather than, okay, now he's just going off to work and he's coming back. Now when they become a part of it, it's like, it's a little bit more interesting. Now if she gives me input and then I implement that in my next song, now she sees she's making a difference. Now it's not Kelly doing music, we're doing music. You understand what I'm saying? So that kind of makes it smooth over a lot better. Then honestly, just building up that trust factor of, if I'm saying I'm gonna be at the studio, I'm gonna be at the studio, and that's just it, point blank period. Like, I ain't doing nothing else. I got you.
What would you tell the youth? What we're looking to do here is help the youth find ways to invest their money.
Right.
That's why I'm interviewing business owners.
Got you.
So that they can possibly have a way that they never heard before.
One way that I would say for the youth, honestly, is, all right, you find a way to take something that you just do out of habit, right? You might want to do music, but if you don't do music as a habit, this doesn't apply to that. You take something that you naturally do, and then you basically monetize that. So let's just say you draw. Okay, find a way to monetize your drawing, something that you just do with ease, to go and do something that you want to do. Another thing that I feel like wasn't necessarily concentrated or spotlighted enough to me as I was growing up is stocks. I recently got into it. I bought stocks in Netgear, basically because of the way that the world is going. Is everything is becoming wireless. So it's like, okay, Netgear is one of the bigger brands when it comes to residential. Cisco is more for corporate, but their shares is crazy. But so I went with Netgear. So the thing about it is now, I looked at my bank account one day. I said, this should not be the only money that I got. You feel what I'm saying? So I looked at it and I said, okay, now I got money working for me here. I got money working for me there. One thing that you can't get back is time. That's something that my mom always taught me. So if you invest, the younger you invest, the more potential you have for that to actually grow. So when you do get to the time of, I want to buy a hair salon, or I want to buy my own barbershop, I want to build a gym, I want to do all these things, now you can thank your younger self for thinking ahead and say, okay, I already have this set in place. A lot of times we go to the ultimate, like, okay, cool, now I want to make money, let me learn how to sell beats. Now you got to understand that it's going to be a learning curve for you to understand how to make beats and sell beats. So for one, you need to take something where you're already doing, make money off of it, so you can learn something, so you can eventually make money off of that. But what'll happen is, if you try to make money off of what you're trying to learn, you begin to compromise. Instead of selling your videos for $300, now you're looking at, bro, I got you for $50, because you're like, yo, I'm still learning. No, you don't want to compromise that, because one thing you can't do is get your brand back up. It's easier to go down in price than it is to kind of come up. So those are the things, like, you just make sure there's a way that you can be making money while you're learning a different way to make money, but always have multiple streams of income ready. That's because right. You never want to fall back on one thing, because at any given time, who knows, that can be taken away from you, like a talent or a gift or whatever. So you just kind of want to always be set up. That's for you, and that's for your kids when it comes to the stocks and stuff. Okay. You can go ahead and have that set up. That's generational wealth. Who doesn't want that?
How would you go? Okay, who are some of the artists you work with? And
I work with, to be honest with you, like some of the most promising people I work with my guy Cash. I work with my guy Uptown Maine, Big Chaos, of course. I'm thinking off of the top who I've worked with consistently. As far as industry guys, I'm gonna be straightforward with you. I'm not big on like name dropping type stuff, just because I feel like we're as good as they are. We just don't have a big of a spotlight on us. But I've worked with the Baby. Shook hands with Euro Got It. I never did a record with him. It's a guy named Paper Love. Media Majors has mixed like a record for like Ray Shrimmer, and it's probably like one or two people that like I'm missing, to be straightforward, because I really don't. It ain't like, oh, we did this, because if you rock with me, I want it because of the quality, not because of the names that's associated with it. That's how I feel like it's real love to me. But those are like the more notable people, like, and I like the Baby. Like, shout out to the Baby, just because he's a genuine person beyond what he is now. I saw what he was going to become because what he was doing at the time he was doing it, and nobody else saw it. And it was like, he already on, and it's just because of when he came down here, he had already left 2 shows. He did a show here. He knocked out a feature. Left and did a show while he was here. Came back, knocked out another feature, and left and did a show. And then he had 3 shows the next day. When you have that mindset, you can't lose. When you're that consistent, you can't lose. There's no way that you can lose. So, stuff like that, that's like a whole different grind, and it kind of like pushes me. Like, I like people that pushes me just by seeing them like, bro, you think you working hard? Cause you staying up, but did you do this? Did you do 3 shows? Yeah. Or did you just make 1 beat? Like, you feel what I'm saying? Right. That's the kind of mindset that I kind of got. Like, it just kind of pushes me to a whole different level, bro.
You got anything else you want to say to the camera? Or?
I'll say this. If anybody that comes up on this is Yerp TV, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you see anybody that comes up here, if you watch this video, share this video, comment on this video. If you see somebody's music that you actually enjoy and that you like, or their work that you say they do a really good job, share it. Because one thing I will tell you is that person cannot continue to create without funding. They don't get funding without recognition. That recognition doesn't come without you sharing. So just point blank period, like, let's show love, like, in a way of not like messaging me and saying, bro, you dope. You feel what I'm saying? Share my stuff if you like it. Now me, I'm gonna be honest with you, on my Facebook, I might like somebody's stuff. I got family up there. I don't share on Facebook. I share on Instagram, but it's just out of respect for my peers. You know what I'm saying? But like, find a way to share or find a way to support. Like, and that's the last thing I'm gonna touch on. Everybody's not gonna support you the way that you want them to support you. In the beginning, like, let's just say I wanted my wife to share my video, but I'm talking about some derogatory stuff in my music, all right? maybe that's not her way of supporting me. Maybe her way of supporting me is watching my 3 kids while I'm at the studio at 3 a.m. in the morning and not calling me and fussing me out about it. You feel what I'm saying? And the next thing is, your friends aren't your friends because of your talent. Your friends are your friends because of who you are. So because they're your friends, don't expect them to support you because you're doing music.
Facts.
They might start something. They might start landscaping and they're horrible at it. What you gonna say, bro? I'm gonna support you no matter what's going on. No, bro, you're trash at that. Let's try something else. You know what I'm saying? Let's try something else that you're good at. So like, support people. Don't expect people to support you in the way that you want them to support you, because they're only going to support you the best way that they know how. And you need to stop like expecting people to support you. Support is a gift. Like, you don't have to get support. Like, we should stop expecting support, and you should be able to move without it. Support is like just an extra boost. That's like you running and somebody like, all right, bro, let's get it. That's an extra push. That race, when you started, you didn't expect nobody to give you a push. You appreciate it.
I try to tell people now, man, the game is about this is about winning.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you, if you're a loser, don't jump in this game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't jump in no game.
You're going to lose.
Because you're going to lose.
Yeah.
You already have the loser mindset.
Yeah.
It's the L for you waiting. You know what I'm saying? This is for winners only.
Right.
Anything in this world is for win. I'm telling you, everything is a race. It's for winners. Even when you feel like somebody's weaker than you, smaller than you, lamer than you, tougher than you, whatever. It's all about winners, bro. If you ain't a winner, you ain't going to win.
The crazy thing about it is, I'm one of my guys, who was it? Jody. I think, was it Jody?
Pico.
Yeah, I think it was Pico. I'm not 100% for sure.
Shout out Pico, bro.
But he was telling me the story of Jim Carrey. I don't feel like it was him because I don't feel like that story would come from him. Oh, it was Clap. That's who it was. He was telling me the story about Jim Carrey. And Jim Carrey, he was saying Jim Carrey he packed up everything, moved his car, and he went to Hollywood. And he had big time movie producers, everybody stopping by while he was doing his little acts. And they were saying, you got everything you need, And he had everything he needed, but he didn't have enough to get into the door. So he wrote himself, I believe it was like a $10 million check or something like that. And he dated it for 10 years later. Within 10 years, he did Dumber and Dumber. And so he got that check back. And he said, you can do anything that you believe in if you really believe it without having a shadow of a doubt. So let's just say you rap and you say, I'm a pop. But in the back of your head, you really think like, I'm not as good as that's a shadow of a doubt. You feel what I'm saying? That's doubt. So until you remove all doubt, then you're going to lose. You feel what I'm saying? That's about having that loser's mindset. So when you're really going into something, and like I made a song, I just cannot lose. It's not an option for me. I got 2 daughters at the crib, my nigga, they gotta eat.
Look at him, look at him go.
Really coming from like, I can't lose. You feel what I'm saying? So like whenever we take away that option of losing, like what other options do you have?
That's
when you say, cool, I cannot.
Yeah.
Period. And then we just keep going, bro. But that's really it, bro. Like, just keep grinding, share this, keep moving, man. Like, motivate somebody else. If you see somebody else doing something, like, tell them, like, yo, I like what you're doing. Even if you're not even a fan of what they're doing. If they're doing something and you see them consistently doing it, tell them, because you never know, like, they might look good. You might become a fan. You don't know. I had a guy, bro, like, I'm going to be honest with you. I had a guy hit me up on IG that said, bro, he was like, I forgot what track it was. Don't you tell me. He said, yo, don't you tell me it's dope. I found you on Apple Music. And that I saw that on your story. Right. And that was a confirmation for me to let me know, I'm glad I paid for marketing. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Because, like, I don't know exactly where all this stuff is going. I don't know where these finances and everything's going. They can send me back links and tell me all this. Yeah. But until I start getting basically what I say, the filter effect, where you got everything, the funnel effect, where everything is funneling down to, like, my Instagram and basically whatever traffic I got going to, like, it's like, all right, cool, that makes sense. So, like, if you hear somebody or whatever, like, or you see some of their work, message them like, bro, it's dope doing what you do. It don't matter. You think like, bro, they probably get 1,000 messages a day. In reality, they probably don't. And if they do, it's people like they're finding a way to, they may ask for a service instead of saying, bro, you're good at what you do. You know what I'm saying? So like sometimes that's a fact.
That's what I go off of. If they're not really asking to be on your joint, or they're not really asking for your service, they're not really a fan. Because even a fan, they just want to either buy your song. Right. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might want to, hey yo, can you come to our hometown? Right. Somebody saying that, you know they in love. You get what I'm saying? Or they trying to buy whatever merchandise you put out there. So
Oh, shout out my man, No Lies, man, my boy Montreal, man. This is
No Lies.
I saw him grinding on IG, man. And, I don't know, he was just putting out, that's another thing, he was consistently putting out merch. Word. And one thing I saw that he never talked down about people not supporting him. Like, I don't like when people do that. Yeah. He just kept putting it out. And he was wearing it by himself for a minute. Then I started seeing people popping up. And I done did like 3 videos, and I wore one of his hit-ins in each one of them, just really showing support, like, bro, keep doing what you're doing. You feel what I'm saying? Like sometimes actions speak way louder than words. So like, yo, let's do this. Like, I'm hot, I'm sweating right now, but my man, no lies. You feel what I'm saying? So absolutely, go look him up. He on IG, man. That's the thing right now.
All right, what's your social media, man, for everybody?
Kelly Bangers, man. Kelly_Bangers. That's on IG. The same thing on Facebook. In all honesty, you can Google Kelly Bangers, and the way I got everything set up, boom, boom. I got the first about 4 or 5 pages gonna be all me. So it ain't gonna be hard to find me, man.
That's what's up, man. Hey, I got one more thing I need for you to say.
Talk to me. This your boy Kelly, and you watching Europe TV, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that shit.